it's Nick from the Racing Rejects, and in this video we're going to take an in-depth look at my 1967 Dodge Coronet. So this is my 1967 Coronet. I've had the car for about 4 months now, and it's pretty much been my daily driver ever since. Before we get into the car, I want to get one thing straight. This is a Coronet 440, but that doesn't designate the engine size. The 440 is actually the trim level. That 440 trim level goes back all the way to the early 60s with the Darts, and then it went to the Poleras, and in the mid 60s when the Coronets became the mid-size car, it kind of rolled over to the Coronets. And then above the 440 trim level, there was the 500 and then the RT. So if you see a Coronet 440, that doesn't necessarily mean that it's going to have a 440 engine. It just means that it's that certain trim level. So this car, it's got a new paint job on it, or I say new, it's about 5 years old. And honestly, it wasn't that good of a paint job. The guy that I bought it from, he had it painted just at a normal body shop. And they didn't straighten up the body any before they put on the paint because it was a straight car to begin with. There's a little bit of Bondo in this front corner here from an old repair. It's probably done sometime early in this car's life. And you know, door dings, little bitty things here and there that they just didn't bother with fixing, and they just sprayed it. But since it's such a straight car, really it's no harm, no foul. As far as a car like this, that's not a show queen. It's a daily driver. Like I say, I drive it everywhere. But you know, whenever they painted the car, it got a lot of orange peel in it, a lot of dust in the paint, and they didn't sand it or buff it or anything. So when I got it, the first thing I did with the paint was I wet sanded the whole car and then buffed it all out, and it turned out way better than I thought it was going to. This is kind of close to the original color, but it was supposed to be the original color, but the original one is, of course, would have been a single stage paint. This is a clear coat, base coat. The trim, I did go back and put some more black in here. It's in pretty good shape. It could be straightened up, but I was in a hurry when I did it all. The worst part would be this right here. There's some Bondo and stuff in this piece of trim. It kind of got beat up at one point in its life. So that's about all for the paint. So let's go up front here and I'll tell you a little bit about this 273 engine and a few more things on the front of the car. You can see this piece of trim that I was talking about that's mangled up a little bit, and it's got some lead and Bondo that somebody put in there trying to repair it at one time, and most of that's kind of fallen out. And then the front bumper, it's in a kind of decent shape. The rear bumper has actually got some, it's a little straighter, the rear bumper is, but it's got some surface rust on it where the chrome is kind of flaking off. This one's got this one gray area here. I don't know if that's lead that has been filled in or if it's just missing the chrome there. It looks like it's been sanded off, so I think someone might have filled in some lead there. And the bumper's actually bent down a little bit here. And it's really not that noticeable unless you really know what you're looking at. So it's not that big of a deal, but a nice set of bumpers would help it out a little bit. Under the hood, again, like I said, 273. It was originally a 2-barrel, and that's one of the things that's not original to this car anymore. Someone has swapped in a 4-barrel and an Edelbrock Performer intake. No AC, power steering, manual drum brakes. Other than that, it's just pretty much stock. The exhaust, it's got like a Flowmaster mufflers and just a normal, you know, muffler shop special dual exhaust with the H-pipe. So nothing fancy, not too loud. So the interior of the car is where what I think is the most noticeable wear is on the entire car, and that's this seat right here. That is the upholstery starting to rip, and it's just the threads are coming out of it. And like I say, that's the most noticeable place on the car that there's any wear. And that's something that, you know, down the road would probably be the first thing someone would do to this car is replace these seat covers. Now this passenger side top and the back top, they look almost brand new, but the bottoms, you know, there's definitely some wear where people have been sitting in them. And of course the driver's side, you got this and about a 4-inch cut right here. For me, it's kind of out of sight, out of mind, because when I'm driving the car, I can't see them, I don't notice them. So